Okay, so let's call it to order. In lieu of the Pledge of Allegiance, I'm just going to ask, just for a quick moment in acknowledgement, the work, the sacrifice for those who are affected by the pandemic one way or another. Thank you for that. And just to remind members that the recordings are being recorded. The proceedings are being recorded. Please announce your name when you speak. And for those who are listening in, sorry, what was I to remind those, Julie?
No, that was just in case we didn't have people come in on our call who could speak.
Oh, and to the best of our knowledge, we don't.
Right.
Okay. So with that, let's move to the agenda. You would have gotten a copy of the minutes from the last meeting, which would have been July 23rd. If you've had an opportunity to review the minutes, may I ask for a motion to approve or amend?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the minutes. It's Suzanne Testani.
Thank you, Suzanne.
And I'll
in a second
it. Linda DiLorenzo.
All right. Any discussion? Hearing none, could we have just a quick yes to have the minutes approved as presented?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so without objection, Sheila. Next item on the agenda is the Board of Health, and in the absence of Carolyn, or unless she's reported to you, Julie?
No.
Okay, so can we just go to the next item? If Carolyn joins, we'll revert back. Laura is absent on the retreat, but I believe we have a report through Loretta.
Yes, I can share a little report. So we had a Zoom, a engaging Zoom discussion. The committee consists of George and Barbara and myself and Laura. And it was a good first meeting. Covered a lot of information and discussed the different areas, including what our function is and how we want to different ideas for moving forward for the retreat to make it how to get the most benefit out of that. We have a proposed date for the retreat, which would be the date of our November meeting, which is the November 19th, and we proposed it from 4 until 8 p.m. And so I just want to put that out there and see how this sounds to all of the commission members. If anyone has any thoughts about that.
The only thing I would say is I'm not too sure when Thanksgiving is this year. It sounds like it's a little close to Thanksgiving, possibly. Sometimes Thanksgiving's later, though.
I think it's the week before.
Thanksgiving is the week after. Yeah, Thanksgiving's the 26th, November 26th. This is me.
Oh, okay, a little bit later.
My calendar. So it's 1 week after that.
Oh, perfect. Okay, that's great.
I mean, our retreat is 1 week before Thanksgiving. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right, that's what I meant. I was saying before.
Yeah, we were scheduled to meet on the Thursday that is Thanksgiving, and we wouldn't have met in any event. So that's why the meeting would have been moved to the 19th.
Perfect.
Okay, so that sounds like... Excuse me?
What day of the week is the 19th?
It's a Thursday. It's our regularly scheduled meeting time.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So it would just be, but instead of having it for 1 hour, we'd be meeting for 4 hours.
Right, 4 to 8. Good.
Let's see.
Dinner. I'm just adding, with dinner.
Right, we would feed us.
Do we have a location?
Free options.
Do we have a location for this?
We do not have a location yet. We have to work on that. Then something that will be able to be safe, socially distanced, and have to be aware of. We'll have to be aware of how we're doing as a community. But the plan is currently to try and make it in person.
That's great.
And we have a facilitator that we've identified, Dorothea Brennan, who is Laura has been in touch with, and she is her consulting work that she does is all about facilitating meetings. And she's from Fairfield and has done lots of different work from events and strategic planning, has been in different boards and communities locally and not as local.
She's also donating her time. It's Suzanne, right, Loretta? She's donating her time.
Yes, she is donating. I'm sorry, I'm not doing a very good job. Yes, she is donating her time.
Very generous.
And I think, didn't Laura say she served, was it on the police and the fire, maybe commissions or
she
something?
Did.
So she has commission experience as well.
She was on both the Fire Commission and the Police Commission, as well as the Ethics Committee. Let's see. She has. She's been on the Mayor's Commission on Services and Expenditures in Hamden. She was, let's see, lots of community boards: Fairfield Arts Council, the Quick Center, Beersley Zoo, Boys and Girls Club, Preservation Trust. She's got a very broad community experience and focuses, and she does what we're looking to do, which is really to facilitate our activity. So really, she seems like she'll be terrific and a real good fit, and is being generous with her time but not charging us.
It's incredible.
So we're looking forward to our next steps. We have another meeting scheduled next week, and we will continue our efforts. I'm sorry, I'm being bombarded with calls.
Yeah, I think the committee felt, we needed one more meeting, just the committee, and then I believe, Loretta, we had said then we would have Dorothea join us for the next one. But we wanted to, not waste her time. We really wanted to be focused on, what our thoughts were, and then, of course, be able to bring it to the whole commission before as well, to go over it. But
yes.
And, I'll just
Any
say one other
thing. Thoughts?
Yeah. I just will add one other thing, that we felt it was important that we all, as part of the retreat, and of course, this is usual in many retreats, is to build in some time for getting to know one another, because, I think that the more people feel comfortable with each other and also understand the skills people bring to the table, then we can be maybe used, even more than we are now in a way. And so, I think that was important, that we felt there would be some time, to get to know each other on a different level.
Thank you, Barbara.
All right, thank you. And my understanding is that you are planning to have some more working sessions before the next meeting, and that the plan with an agenda for the retreat would be available to review at the October meeting. Am I?
Yes. We just need some more time
so
to
we have another opportunity
work together.
Review how we're proceeding with that. All right. Is there anything else on the retreat that any member would like to contribute or ask? All right. Well, thank you, and thank you for participating. Thank you for the report, Loretta. The next item on the agenda is the Committee for People with Disabilities. I don't know if there's anything new to report, but I'll ask you, Loretta, if there's anything you want to contribute or ask.
I don't have anything to report, Julie. I'd love to hear what's going on in terms of if there's been discussion with Brenda and if we could re-energize the committee.
There has not, but I can tell you that there is a new ADA compliance officer. It is the Chief Administrative Officer, Tom Brennan. So I think it would be worth our while to invite him to a meeting, when he's able to get here, whether it's October or December, as November is going to be the retreat. But that's good news that the town has named somebody.
Okay. So absolutely, it will be good to speak with him and invite him. When we had before everything shut down, we had wanted to have a meeting with Brenda to talk about what we're doing and taking it to the next level and getting her buy-in for it to be an independent commission. And we had talked about if we had to go through the RTM or not. Are we going back? Are we going to be able to go resume that process and discussion, or do you feel like we have to go back and start with Tom Brennan again before proceeding?
I do think that because of COVID, everything is on hold. So, I think that having the conversation with Mr. Bremer is a great next step, and then he can help guide us through that process. I think that would be a great way to go. I don't feel like we've lost ground, but I do feel as though it makes us more sensitive to the pandemic situation to be patient.
Okay.
Another, if I may, it's Suzanne, another avenue for obtaining policies and procedures on the way the town operates as far as the RTM or the legislative branch would be to contact Jim Baldwin as well. He is the town attorney, and he might be able to steer you in the right direction as well if you can't get in touch with Mr. Brennan right away. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay. Julie, in terms of the encouragement to be patient because of the pandemic, the likelihood is that we're going to be in this boat for another year. So what are you seeing in terms of creating our new normal and having the business of the town moving forward? Am I connected still?
Julie, are
I can
you
hear
on
you.
mute?
It's in, yeah.
Julie?
No.
Maybe she's not connected.
Did we lose her, Mr. Chairman?
We may have. Julie?
Scared her off, Loretta.
I might have. I'm sorry. But she's the host of the call, so if she gets disconnected, shouldn't we all be disconnected?
That's a good question, Loretta.
Yeah.
That's weird, yeah.
She's the root. So
Okay, we could table that.
maybe she muted something?
I'm just wondering if she's on mute.
Yeah.
But then she should hear us.
She should.
Oh, unless she put the phone down.
Sheila, are you with us?
Yes, I am. I'm going to try Julie on my cell. I'm going to try her off.
Yeah, I was just going to do that and just ask that we take a pause.
I'll do that. You guys keep going.
Okay. I don't know if there's a report from the Friends. I don't think there's anyone on the line, but maybe we'll wait till we get Julie back.
Hi, sorry about that. I kicked the cord.
Is that what happened?
Yes. Sorry about
It can happen to anybody, Julie.
Oh, Lordy.
So, Julie, did you hear my question?
No.
So, I had asked, since we can expect that the pandemic is going to be with us for at least another year or so, what are you getting as the pulse of the town and moving forward with the business of the town? For example, when you suggest that we're patient because of the pandemic, I'm wondering, are we? What are you? Can you sort of fill us in as to what's going on with the business of the town and creating our new normal and how we're moving forward?
Yep, I meant more patient historically from winter till now. I think things are normalizing and, meetings are beginning to happen and policies and procedures are happening. My patience was less of a predictor of future meetings and more of a reflection on the historic, March till now. So, in terms of the town, I think it's going great, specifically as it applies to the commission or the committee. I just felt like it would have made us seem tone deaf to be pushing this, and that's why I appreciate that we didn't while we were trying to get through the crisis of the pandemic. And I think now is a good time to start regaining that momentum.
Okay. Thanks for clarifying that.
Sure.
All right. Well, thank you for that, Loretta. Julie, I don't know if there's any update from the Friends that you want to share, or.
I did not get a report from them, but I can tell you that they are actively sponsoring programs for us. We have a hot dog luncheon tomorrow that they're sponsoring, and they're also providing programming, like programs and presentations. They did that for us in July and August, and then in October they're doing their Thursday night programs via Zoom. So they're busy. They are busy, and not most importantly, but with a lot of generosity, they made bags to house our emergency backpacks for homebound people with disabilities and seniors for emergencies for like hurricanes. We made 100 bags of items that one might need in an emergency. And the bags are specifically for people who don't have natural supports, family members or neighbors who check in on them and don't live in senior or disabled housing, but are on their own and might need an extra reminder to be ready for a storm. So the Friends provided the bags for that, which was a big cost and also a huge help.
All right. Well, thank you for that. Under new business, the only item I see there is Nominating Committee. And as we approach the end of the year, we will be, or the Commission will be electing officers for the 2021 program year. And traditionally, we have had a Nominating Committee to present a list of nominees for Commission consideration at the November-December meeting. This year, there are a number of terms that are expiring in November, so we thought it might be appropriate to bring the Nominating Committee issue forward and just have a committee in place. And with the concurrence of other commissioners, what I'd like to suggest is the committee was actually chaired by George last year, and although he's not here and perhaps taking advantage of his absence, I'd like to nominate him if he would be willing to serve as chair of the committee this year, and ask anyone who would be interested in serving on the committee to reach out to George or to contact me, and just put that forward as a motion for consideration.
Bernie, it's Ann. I would be very happy to be on that committee.
Sorry, who's that?
It's Suzanne.
Suzanne, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bernie, do you have a list of whose terms are expiring?
Sheila, may I refer to that list that you distributed today?
Sure. Do you want me to go through it, or do you want me to just email it to everyone, or?
If you don't mind, could you just
Sure.
go through it? Thank you.
Okay. Bernie, 11/20, November 2020. Laura, November 2019. Linda, November 2021. Carolyn, they're all November. Carolyn, 2020. Barbara, 2020. Nee, 2021. George, 2022. Loretta, 2020. And Suzanne, 2023.
Sheila, if I may make one, amendment to that. I think Laura is 2023.
Yes. I sent you and Julie the updated version. I printed the old one out. You're right. I'm sorry about that.
And Bernie, could you review, because I don't know how it works in terms of, because I guess this is Barbara, I took someone's place that her term was ending. Am I eligible to stay on or not? How does that work?
I'm actually trying to get some clarification on that. I think most members are eligible for 2 consecutive terms. And if you're appointed to fill a vacancy, there's some. It's whether or not you fill that vacancy and then are eligible for a second consecutive term. I think more recently, they're trying to coordinate the end of term so that there's not a lot of turnover, or there's phase turnover. So if you are appointed for 1 term, I think you're eligible for a second term.
Okay.
And then most members are, and then there's a term limit of 2 consecutive terms.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
so
thank you.
Bernie,
That's helpful.
This is Loretta. So to clarify, those of us who, like Barbara and myself, and Bernie, I think, because we took over, Carolyn also? So since we took over someone else's
about the
term.
2020, that's all.
Right, so we're not allowed to have 2 full terms. It's going to be 1.5 or 1 1/4 or whatever it happens to be.
Right.
Yeah, finish out that person's term.
And then we have eligible for 1 more.
Yeah, I think what we're going to do with the just ask if we could just clarify that specifically for each individual member, because I think there's some phasing on when the appointment was made and things like that. I know that I'm coming off. I have served the bulk of 2 consecutive terms, so I'm not eligible for reappointment. But I don't know the individual circumstances of other members, and I think we just need to get clarification moving forward. And that was one of the reasons I'd like to have an early nominating committee, because of actually for eligibility for next year, who's eligible.
Bernie, it's Julie. I'm looking at the email Jen sent when we were asking him information about your term expiration, and if you give me 1 second, I'd like to read through it because it does clarify some of it. That she checked with the town attorney that unfortunately won't be able to serve another term. He explained that you're appointed to 2 full terms based on the fact that you were appointed due to the term expiration of a prior member. That is, you're not replacing someone who resigned. The mere fact that you were not appointed until March to fill that vacancy has no bearing. If we use that as a rule, most everyone appointed would be in the same situation. So it sounds as though it doesn't clear it up as much, but it does sound as though that it would preclude you
from.
Well,
it sounds like no matter when you filled in, unless the person resigned or not resigned, but resigned was the word used, that it doesn't matter if you served 1 day, 1 month, 5 months of it, it ends and then you're eligible for 1 more, it sounds like.
Right, it does sound like that.
Yes.
So we just need to get clarification for individual members and advise them. Because that would be obviously provide some guidance to the nominating committee.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you for that, Julie. And we'll try to get clarification before the next meeting on individual terms as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. But with that said, would there be, if I could ask for a motion to nominate George in his absence, and I haven't had an opportunity to speak to George about this, but could I put that out for the group to consider?
Sure. I put forward a motion. I nominate George to chair the committee, the nominating committee.
And Barbara seconds.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none. May I have just any objections, and just consider it passed unanimously. All right, thank you. And with your concurrence, I'll reach out to George. And Suzanne, we have you as a volunteering, and if there's anyone else who wants to volunteer.
This is Loretta. I'm happy to volunteer if we need people too.
All right. Well, thank you. That should a group of 3 should be able to consider all the options as well. So thank you for that, Loretta. Okay. With that, moving on, we have Julie, department update.
Well, we're pretty status quo from last month. We're open, but we are not open to the public, so staff is reporting. We are going to do in-person one-on-one Medicare counseling for open enrollment, and that will be with our, it's called the Choices Volunteer. And the Agency on Aging has provided us with safety equipment so that if we set up a room, people can come in an entrance, have their appointment, exit, it can be cleaned, and then the next appointment can come in. And our volunteer schedule is on her calendar, so it should be pretty smooth, but that's our first foray into those kinds of appointments. Social services right now is still doing everything by phone, and then if somebody has paperwork that needs to be signed or dropped off, we meet them outside in the front. We're trying to figure out how we want to handle things as it gets cold, and there probably will be a room with safety precautions.
Julie, it's Suzanne. Just a quick question. Don't they have to bring all their medications with them to those meetings as well? I mean,
they can bring a list.
Zoom call with them, or how does it work?
No, they may bring a list.
Oh, they can bring a list. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Right. And with any luck, people will start creating their own Medicare.gov accounts, which should help.
Right.
So.
Tremendously.
Yeah. We are so social services is also in the throes of energy assistance season. That's going fine. That's what we've started processing those applications, and they're done by phone again with the paperwork dropped off. The senior center, we are doing tons of Zoom programs. We are lucky to be in this area for the area on aging because all of our senior centers are sharing programs, which is fantastic. It expands the opportunities for seniors who are at home to do all sorts of classes that we would not be able to provide alone. And now that we know how to work Zoom, it's much better. And we've delivered close to 6,200 lunches from March till now, Monday through Friday, with our CERT volunteers and our buses. Very, very proud of the staff, the drivers for coordinating all that because it has been a ton of work, but very rewarding and worth it. Our mobile food pantry continues to deliver groceries to about 25 families every other week. That's going fine. And the not great news is that our lovely Senior Center Director, Amy O'Donnell, has retired and moved to Texas. So we have a job posted. I haven't started interviewing for it yet for a new Senior Center Director. So that's super sad. That's pretty much it. Any questions?
Yeah, quick one again, Julie. Sorry to monopolize. It's Suzanne. But did the government expand the window, how every year it's October to December, I believe, for the Medicare enrollment to change and whatnot? Has they changed that window due to the pandemic at all? Given a little more time?
So. No, I don't think so. I haven't heard that. It's open enrollment starts at I think October 7th. I might have that date wrong. But no, they haven't. And what's tricky is that usually there's most places have presentations so that people can get educated on making those decisions. SWACA is providing talks to the entire area, which is great, the 14 towns. So we're sharing those again, which is probably a better way to go anyway, so that everybody is not hosting their own program. But
right.
It's it's going to be interesting to see. The library is not having individual appointments. It's going to be interesting to see that everybody gets the help they need, and how that works.
Because you're staggering your visitation times too, so
exactly
that makes it longer. I wondered if the government pushed it back a little bit to give people a little more time, but I guess
not yet. The moratorium on utilities expires October 1st, and we're expecting, we've been processing the applications for the COVID fund, and we're doing great with that. The funds are limited. I think we have had 110,000, give or take, to start, and we have maybe 16,000 yet left to distribute and disperse. But with that moratorium lifted, people will have to pay back those utilities, and that will be a challenge. And when the eviction moratorium is up, that'll be another challenge. Just things we're worried about now, hoping to handle well.
One day at a time.
Exactly.
Julie, is there any the flu shots? Any news on the town side? And haven't they been provided at the senior center in the past?
They have. Today was a flu clinic. They did last Thursday, this Thursday, and next Thursday by appointment. We gave them 2 rooms that are off the back parking lot, so people can enter in one way and exit another way. And yesterday was a flu shot on the field. So the one in the building is for anybody 50 and over by appointment, and yesterday they had an open one on the field that was for any age group. Unfortunately, every single appointment has been taken. So they're out of the high dose. When they get the next shipment of that, they'll schedule some more flu clinics. But I can tell you that they had a steady stream of people coming in to each and every one of those. And next week is the last one until they have the additional high dose.
And this is being provided by the town?
Yeah, the health department.
The health department. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you for that.
Sure.
All right. Any other questions or discussions on the department activities? All right, hearing none. Any other business to discuss? And if nobody's on mute, hearing none for that, I think we are able to entertain a motion to conclude.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman. It's Suzanne Pestani.
I'll second that motion. This is me.
Thank you. All in approval?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, and our next meeting is scheduled for October 22nd at 4 o'clock. And with that, thank you all. Stay safe. Be well.
Thank you.
Thank you,
everyone.
everybody. Be well.
Everybody,
Also.
Take care. Be well. Bye.
And Julie, yes, take care.